Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast, the show about fishing and random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. And if you're joining us on a Friday evening with the split of this podcast, then you've come to the right place to party and hang out and talk about Microsoft swinging that big dick.
Oh, yeah, baby. We're going to get real weird.
I had to just try out this raspy voice. It's kind of gone away as we've talked a little bit, but like I wanted to give it a go. But yeah, we're in the random take, and we have to talk about the Microsoft Blizzard Activision deal. So Blizzard and Activision are the same company. If you didn't know that, like they are the same company.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know if I knew that. It's not something that I retained.
Yeah,
it's possible.
Yeah, right. But I mean, Activision. Activision's been around forever, and like they were the Tony Hawk franchise. They are
Tony
the
Hawk,
Tony Hawk franchise. They still own it. They still whatever, however you want to say that.
Still putting that stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah. Even.
Yeah, they had that cool ass. That was one of the coolest things when you saw like the next game come out was like that eyeball.
Neversoft.
No, Neversoft. Yes.
Yeah, because Neversoft was the developer, Activision was the publisher.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Activision, but yes, okay, you're right. It's Neversoft. Yeah, because it was always. Yeah.
Yep. That spear that would go through the eyeball.
Yep. And it was a little bit different every time.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh,
they got a little bit more money every time, and they got better at animating it.
Yes, sir.
But this. I had to bring this up, Tim, because it's fucking crazy, but because
it is.
You used to play Call of Duty.
Yes.
You would or could. You just haven't. It's a lot to open up and whatever. But
yeah, I mean,
that's why I said
just with the kid, like it's hard to find time to play a mature rated game.
Right.
You know, he gets out of fucking control watching fighting scenes in little kids' movies. I'm like, I cannot. He is not there enough to show him shooting shit. Like I can't right now. Like I don't want to see what happens if I unleash this. Like you know when they're like, oh, the parents or whatever, like you can't allow violent video games and stuff. You can, but not with the 3-year-old, dude. They are fucking animals.
Right. Yeah.
They will do what they see.
Energy, like too much just being absorbed all the time.
Oh, just the like lack of knowledge. Like where you just get hit in the face with something hard and you're like, what the fuck? And they're just like, sorry. And you're like, yeah, you can't do that. And like, oh, I didn't know. Like, how did you not know? This is hard. And this is the thing you have is hard. My face is my face. Like, come on, bro. And you can't like scream at them, and it's like, they can't get a gun or whatever, but like a melee, like you see them.
The idea of hitting something with something else, hitting someone in the head with something else hard on purpose.
Or like they have any of their weapons, they grab a knife and run up and they get them, and all of a sudden, like I come home and dude comes out of left field because. Just like how I would in the game, he's like hiding around the corner, and I will come around the corner, and he comes after me with a knife, like, and he's just like, it's like your game, they're just like, they're not developed enough to handle that stuff. So I'd be playing, but I don't want to get stabbed. So,
so haven't been playing lately. Like, I get it, especially with how realistic some of them get. Right, like there's the future ones, like Black Ops got kind of like pretty futuristic and whatever. But it still has its real aspects to it. It never got like crazy fucking out there space odyssey. But the World War II ones, right? The World War I.
Right. Yeah. World War I well, and I mean, it doesn't even need to be that realistic. Like the kids don't grasp it. Like he's still asking. He still says shit like, if I could beat up a real dinosaur or whatever. And it's like, because he's seen stuff and you're like, dinosaurs don't exist. Like they did, but they don't now. So you're like, also a dinosaur would kick your ass. Like not a single one you could handle.
Right. Like, you don't understand how big they are. Like, you've seen cartoon dinosaurs that are the same size as humans.
Right,
Not
even the
really.
little one is gonna fuck you up, dude. Like, cause he is relentless and you are not. Like, you might think that you're tough until he bites you once, and then you freak the fuck out because he's coming at you. It's
Right, right, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to bring it up, is why I wanted to talk to you about this, is because, like, I know how much you used to play it. You used to be an annual player of that, and that game is that big. That game is that annual thing,
yeah,
right?
that's when the new one comes out. You're like, hell yeah.
Right. Yeah, and it's huge. It's fucking huge. It has just a huge crowd of people that play it. And
Oh yeah,
for the people who are just listening to the audio, I got a PlayStation hat on. Tim's got a PlayStation shirt on.
that's right.
I got a Nintendo shirt on. Even fuck,
I ain't
no
even playing
Microsoft to be
this
found.
either. This was just the shirt I was wearing today.
Yeah, and this is just my hat that I wear in the
Right,
wintertime.
right.
But it just proves, like, well, we've always been PlayStation people. We're Nintendo
For
people
sure.
too, but we've
Yep.
just been PlayStation people from the beginning. And now Microsoft's out here going, oh yeah, that's right. We're not Xbox. We're Microsoft, bitch.
Right.
And everyone in the gaming industry is now like, oh fuck, that's right. That's Microsoft.
Bitch.
They can do whatever they yeah. They can do whatever the fuck they want because they have the one of the biggest money dicks in the whole world. So
Right.
fuck it. Start
Yeah.
swinging that Microsoft money around. And that's I didn't even look it up because it's so many, it's like hundreds of billions of dollars that they bought Activision for.
Really?
They've they've been, yeah, I didn't even write it down in the doc because
So I
it's
wouldn't even
so
hesitate if I was
much.
Activision. They're like, oh, we'll give you $100 billion and just be like, I will see you guys in Texas. I'm gonna go catch some walking fish.
Because I'm going on vacation as soon as
I'm
that
going on
fucking debt
vacation,
clears.
bro. I ain't getting out of here.
So Activision, you say that, but the like headline that I put in here in the doc is they buy Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. It's like if you talk to any random ass motherfucking person on the street and they see that you're wearing a PlayStation shirt, right? You go, oh, Call of Duty, huh? Like that could be a
Right,
conversation
right.
starter. They could just bring that up in the line of coffee. Cool hat, video games, right? Yeah. So Call of Duty's coming out. And you're like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it is. You must have been watching football this weekend because you saw the commercial. Like,
Right.
you don't fucking play video games. That was a weird way to bring this up. What's your deal?
Right. Right.
And World of Warcraft, of course. World of Warcraft is like one of the biggest PC games ever.
Yes.
Now Microsoft owns them.
Are they?
And hmm?
I mean, to be silly for them to not make it on all the platforms, but you think that they'll fuck us PlayStation guys over?
That's exactly why I had to point out that we have this PlayStation stuff on. And that's what,
Yeah.
if you like, so all the video game stuff I've been listening to, that's what everybody's worried about. Like they've been putting out the headlines is Call of Duty, Microsoft or Xbox exclusive. And I heard somebody else say it, but I had the thought independently. So here's the thing. Recently, basically because of Fortnite, cross-platform has been happening, right? Basically, if you have a
Yeah.
controller, it's reading a controller and it will put you in with more people who are on controllers. If you have a mouse and keyboard, it will throw you in mouse and keyboard room. It seems to me that these games are too dependent on having a big player base, and there's too many of these games out there anymore
Oh,
that
yeah.
Microsoft can't afford to make them Xbox
That makes
exclusive.
sense with the battle royales. They're like, we're trying to fill 100-player rooms.
Right.
We need to have all the players.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mm.
So I really do think that we're safe. I really do think that they have to play nice with PlayStation.
I
I
hope so.
and
It also seems like, I mean, like it'd be exclusively like we can't let people buy PlayStations. Like we got to get everybody over to Xbox. But doesn't it seem like that would
Mhm.
hurt their sales more to make it
Yeah.
exclusive to one, where you just be like,
Right.
half of the market is
Right.
this other platform, and
Mhm.
they're not gonna switch if we do this. They're just gonna create another game,
A different one probably.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
and they'll probably
Which
come out with something cooler. Cause let's face it, like, or at least
Mhm.
they'll come out with something where they say like when, oh, we'll make this and it's gonna be cool, and then they'll come out with it instead of being
Mhm.
like, here's the case, and then they can't figure out how to put the disc in it. Suck it, Microsoft. No, I'm just playing, but like I don't have like when we were younger and in high school and stuff, I used to just be like I hated Microsoft for
Yeah.
the whole like
Yep.
just we might have said it on here before, but like I just hated the fact that they were like, here's the Xbox. And they came out with the design of it first without actually fitting anything into it. And then they couldn't
Yep.
figure out how to fit the technology into it. I was like, that's so ass backwards. Like, I hate your company where they're just like, it's all marketing. Like, we think
Right.
this looks cool. And then they couldn't figure out how to make it. Where
Which, by the way,
Sony's
it didn't
like,
look cool
no, it didn't. It was
because it
just
was coming out against the PS2, which is still one of the most beautiful consoles ever made of all time.
yeah. And it was like the exact same time where Xbox finally figured out how to fit everything in their giant fucking box. And then Sony just like, we just made the PlayStation 2 the size of a DVD case.
Right. With a little
So,
extension on it. Like,
yeah,
it's just
ours is just as good as yours, and it is very small.
right.
And it was like insane and such a flex
Oh,
for
yeah,
them
for sure. It
for them
was
to
big
just be
time.
like, you can't fit it. We just made ours like a third of the size of the original system that we came
Yeah.
out with way before you.
Yeah, and the controller too, the Duke as they call it. Like that controller sucked. People who like the Duke, they must be professional athletes. And I mean like big professional athletes, talking like football players, talking basketball
Yeah,
players, talking hockey players, like big fucking professional wrestlers, like WWE
right.
stars, like you know, these huge dudes because that controller was ridiculous. Still is ridiculous to me. I don't know. You're
Yeah, I
you're
I
much
don't.
taller. You have much more.
It was
Uh,
massive. Yeah, no, I didn't like it then, and I don't really care for the new ones now. Like I've just like
mhm.
the controller size was the problem back then.
Yeah,
Now I just don't like how the sticks are like
offset.
not
The
offset.
offset sticks.
That
Yeah.
that bugs me. But
Yep. As PlayStation
every
keeps more
time,
sticks right
yeah,
next to each other feels right.
yes, I just like to
Mhm.
have. I'm just a symmetrical person in general. I
Mm,
like things to
mhm,
be symmetrical. So when it's asymmetrical, it bothers me. And having my
yep,
hands like offset, I don't like it. I
mhm,
like to have them right next to each other. I even do kind of the same thing with fishing. I have one hand like right on the reel, the
yep,
other one's like right over the reel. Like they're both right
yeah.
next to each other. They're not offset. I would feel weird. If you were holding the back of the rod and then my hand was up
Yep,
on the reel, it'd feel weird. I like to have them
sure.
next to each other
Yeah,
and like not hating on them. Like I don't harbor the same animosity that I did when I was younger. Like now I'm like
right.
I would
Yeah, yeah,
if
no,
I
me
had
neither,
the
but we're on the same page for
yeah,
sure.
if I had the money, I'd totally buy the system just to get some of their exclusives. But for sure I'm,
Yep,
you know, figuring out a way to use a PlayStation controller just because I don't
yep.
care for that offset. But for whatever reason,
Yep.
anytime I say that to a Microsoft person, they're just like, oh, it's so much better, dude. It's actually way better. Do you know it's way better? Because it's actually way
Yeah,
better. And
yeah,
you're just like,
no, I know.
no, it's not. I don't
Mm-mm.
care for it. Like, I don't understand why you have to be like, no, you're gonna like it. Like, I won't.
Yeah,
I can tell you now, I'm not gonna like it. I
yeah,
don't like it. I've tried it. I don't care for it.
yeah.
Like, I don't
No,
understand. I don't understand
I'm right
those
there with
people.
you because like I have the PS5 controller. I use that on my PC. Love it. My favorite
Yeah,
controller of all time for sure.
yeah.
Still have the sticks together. Switch. I play Switch all the time with a controller. I got the Pro controller. Love it. One of my favorite controllers of all time. Offset sticks. But guess what? I would think it was better if it had this the sticks next to each other. I can play
Right.
that way. I love the feel of the Nintendo Pro Controller in my hands, but I do still prefer them to be together. It's just the way like I started playing twin stick, and it's the way I still like to play twin stick. So I'm right there with you. And this all this hardware talk is to say is is like, yeah, Microsoft didn't really get it. They did develop a great controller. The 360 was a nice tight little box. In that it was I got it now. But so the 360, was sort of like the PS2's sequel, counterpart, answer, whatever you want to say. But this Activision, well, what Microsoft has been doing is that they've never really had strong games either, right? Like, what was the reason to have an Xbox? Halo?
Yeah, Halo. Mine was
What else?
like I like zombie games. Left 4 Dead was an
Oh,
Xbox
that's right. That is,
exclusive.
yep. Forgot about that.
Yeah, so I always wanted to try playing that game.
Hmm.
Um, but that was really the big draw. I like Halo looked like it'd be okay. I'm not
Okay.
really
Yep.
into that whole like jumping high stuff. Like they did that with one of the Call of Duties, and it was like my least favorite one,
Right. I remember that.
where you could just jump high and nobody liked it. It's just like a different mindset almost, like
Yeah.
different people. Like when they did it with Call of
Mhm.
Duty, everybody's like, "Bro, fuck this. What is this shit?
Right, right.
Why do we
It took
why
it
do we
to a
have
different place that you didn't wanna be in.
yeah, you're like, why do we have 3 levels here? I'm getting killed and I have no idea where the guys are. And like
Yep.
strategy was harder and stuff. I don't know. Halo
Right.
almost feels like it's more of like a rogue type deal where people just like jumping around. I'm sure anybody listening that's into Halo is just like, "Ooh, it's there's totally strategy," and I'm sure there is. I just don't
Right. Right.
care for it. I like
It's not the kind of strategy that you prefer to play.
right. No, I
Yeah.
like to like you know everybody's on the same level. Maybe there's like
Mhm.
one more floor. If there's like a second floor, whatever, where I can kind of
Yeah.
see where it's like not out of your line of sight. But
Mhm.
when it's a third floor, you're not looking up there. Or when you look up to the
Yep.
third floor because you think there's a guy up there, and then you get shot in the face from a guy that's like right in front of you that came around the corner.
Right.
I just didn't care for it. So I don't. The draw of Halo has never been a big thing, but I have wanted to play
Mhm.
it because it
Yeah.
has a following. So you're like,
Right,
all
and you
right,
just wanna be in it, like, you wanna have that experience or, like, what is everybody's hype level about? Why? Like,
right,
I wanna
right,
see what it's all about. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I
Oh,
totally
and
get it.
Gears of War.
Oh, yeah, Gears. Yep.
Yeah,
I did
Gears of
play
War is the big draw. That's
Yep.
the one.
I played the new one. It's really sick. So, both Microsoft and Sony have been dropping on PC now. They've been dropping their games, like, God of War just
Oh
came out on
yeah,
PC, like, the new God of War, PS4 God of War, like, when it renamed itself as just God of War again.
yeah.
Yeah, that just came out on PC, like, not too long ago. So, I guess where I'm going with all of this and all of that is, yeah, Microsoft had, like, one game, and it's
Right.
weird to think about, and this goes all the way back to what you were, like, in the beginning when you brought it up is, like, yeah, the original Xbox was a piece of plastic, and they couldn't figure out how to get actual hardware in it. That's
Yeah.
because it was a software company trying to get into the hardware game. Then they figured out the hardware game, 360 did well, the new Xboxes are great, they're fine. This is Microsoft becoming a software company again. Like,
Right.
that they're buying a company that makes video games. They keep buying up companies that make video games. Microsoft is becoming Microsoftware again.
Right. Yeah, and the crazy thing is that they're like buying their way back in. Like they're
Yeah.
like the biggest name out there, and
Yep.
they're like, "Oh, I gotta buy my way back in."
Right.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
because PS3 or because PS4 crushed them like PS2 did. PS5 is hitting it off, basically seeming like they're riding the PS4 wave and that it is going to be the same situation. And so Microsoft was like, I don't know, I guess we need games. Shit. And that's what they're doing. And so they're just going and buying out a bunch of software companies and becoming a Microsoft like game software company again. But you know what
Yeah.
this is like? not only that, because the video game, the Xbox hardware isn't doing great for them, relatively speaking, but it's because of Game Pass, dude. I guarantee it's because of Game Pass. And do you know what Game Pass is? We've talked about it a little bit before.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's their
basically when you subscribe, and then you can just download whatever's on the subscription and you can play it.
Right, and that's like it has like old school games and stuff, isn't it?
It has everything on it. All of these quote unquote first party games launch day of on Game Pass. And you know what? They almost always launch on Xbox and on PC.
Damn, dude. You know what? I've been honestly I've always been a PlayStation guy. I don't have a PS5. I have a PS4. Like we said, haven't been into this stuff. I was always kind of a release day guy where I just like to have the new shit. But lately, like you were saying with your controller playing on PC and stuff and then they drop everything on PC. Like I was like, if I had the money, I'd get an Xbox and a PlayStation. And I'm like, well, I could have both if I just had a PC.
Right.
And I can use a controller. My whole draw is like I don't like a keyboard and a mouse.
Right.
It's just not for me.
Yeah. I don't I play games on my PC all the time. Oops. Only use a controller.
It's a mic there.
Yeah. But yeah. It's no. But yeah, that's exactly, and that's what I mean. That's why this is Microsoft becoming a software company again. It's like, yeah, well, we're gonna have the box out there so that way you can play it, and that way these developers develop for this specific piece of hardware. But I mean, really, buy the software. That's what we're talking about. Like, we just want you to buy games. We don't really give two shits about the hardware anymore. That's what I think is happening.
I sure hope so.
And so that also leads to the question that I haven't heard anybody ask yet. And that's because Sony seems to be developing an answer to Game Pass. But my question is now, do we see Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass on PlayStation? Do we see a cloud gaming service dropping? Is that how invested Microsoft is in just selling games now? Is that how invested Microsoft is in becoming just a software company?
Man, I don't know.
Are they going to just go cross-platform now and be like, hey, because EA does something like this too. EA has something pass or EA access or something like that. And it's basically the same thing, $24 a month or whatever. You can get the new FIFA, the new Madden, and the new NBA Live all in the same place.
Yeah.
And that's definitely on PlayStation. And it's just like, oh shit, what is happening here?
Yeah, man, I don't know. It'd be cool.
Wouldn't it be?
It'd be real cool if everybody was just like, you can have everything everywhere and then you just choose which system you want.
Right. What piece of hardware and what controller you want.
Right, basically.
That would be the driver now.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. I don't know. I really don't know. If you think that they're going to want to have some stuff exclusive.
There's going to be some level of exclusivity.
Because they don't want to.
Halo will never jump ship.
Yeah, because they don't. Right, they don't want to screw over their sales on the system because that's
hardware still.
Because the hardware is for sure what they spend the most money on.
Yeah, from an engineering standpoint and getting it out there and the marketing and sure.
And the cost, initially, how you said, the engineering, you're probably paying about the same. Well, I don't know. I don't want to speculate any of this stuff, but you have to pay money to develop a game, the development and stuff.
Right.
But once it's developed, now it's digital downloads. Now,
right. Blu-rays don't cost shit to manufacture anymore because that technology is old and easy to replicate.
And if it's not on a Blu-ray and it's just a digital download, there's literally no overhead once you have it out. You're just making money.
Right.
So when you're making a system, you actually have to, put money into making this thing, and that's why it costs so much.
Right. Yeah. Like,
So,
often the hardware is sold at a loss, and that's why they wanna sell games is because that's where the money is. Like, you pay $500 for the box, the Xbox.
yeah,
Microsoft's either losing money on that or breaking even until, you know, 3, 4 years down the road usually.
right,
I mean, Sony also, but I'm just using Microsoft in this case since we're talking about, Microsoft and Activision and shit.
right, yep.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
it's super crazy to think about, and you wanna know what else? The biggest thing is PlayStation Now has been around for a super long time where you could just stream games. Like, you could
Yeah,
like, Netflix style, you could stream video games. PlayStation Now has been around for a long time. They bought out, like, one of the original streaming companies a long time ago. They didn't do dick with it, and now you know what Microsoft's doing? Streaming video games.
same shit.
xCloud, yeah, and it's going great.
Yeah.
It's
It's because
going
I don't
fucking great, and especially now that they have Activision, like, $24 a month, and you can just stream the next Call of Duty.
right.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was that PlayStation Now. I never looked into it, but the PlayStation's thing is like they don't like to give you current games. It wasn't current, was it?
No.
Yeah,
And
that
still
was
not really.
that's the
They
big
have been
deal.
pushing more and more new stuff up there, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, Microsoft just flat out said, like, "Well, per I if we make it, it's going on Game Pass day 1." There's, like, a 98% chance that's happening.
Yeah. You think
Super high.
about man, you think about like having people give you that much money a month to play it. That's
Yeah,
got to be more profitable
right.
because I know that there's a lot of people out there that buy multiple games or whatever. But for me,
Yep,
it was like I buy Call of Duty and then I buy maybe like one or two other games. I would buy like
right,
maybe two games in a year.
right.
So you're talking like $60 a piece.
Yeah. You're
That's
talking, like, $120 a
$120.
year.
Now
Yeah,
you talk $25 for 12 months.
right,
You're for sure making more money doing that.
right. Yeah,
And the majority, I shouldn't say the majority, but I know that there's quite a few people out there that'll buy like the system and then just shop like the bargain bins or buy the shit on
sure.
eBay. They're buying
Yep.
like the used stuff so
Yeah,
that
which that
then
doesn't even go
Microsoft,
to Microsoft anymore.
right? They don't have their hands in that anymore. But if you're
Yep,
streaming it
yep,
and $25 a month for a person that's like, I'll buy a game for $25 after it's used instead
right.
of buying the full price.
Yep,
They're like, same amount of money and I get to play all the new shit I want.
right.
Sign me up. See,
Sign me up. Yeah,
that's real
exactly.
smart to be like, give them all the new stuff, you
Yep.
know?
Oh, for sure. It's such a good
Yeah.
idea. And because Microsoft's so invested in the cloud, like, on the back end of Microsoft, they have Azure servers, and Azure is what runs the xCloud and gaming. It's all Microsoft servers. They're they're just using these services that they've already developed as a company and have become very profitable, and, like, the cloud, as it's called, the Microsoft cloud is Azure, is this service, and they're just building on that hardware that's already there and
Yeah.
making money on it. It's like, holy fuck. Oh my god. And they're I think the reason why they're doing this is because they're already in the gaming space and they're in that cloud space, and now they're trying to merge the two because, like, Amazon is trying to do that too. Like,
Okay.
Amazon has gaming now. I mean, they bought Twitch,
Yeah, I've heard
which,
them say that stuff, but like I haven't really looked into what they got going on.
yeah, Amazon has Luna. From what I hear, it doesn't really have shit on it. It's not really going that well, but it is the same thing. It's a streaming game service. And so Google did it too with Stadia, which hasn't gone very well. Came out and it was like letting the air out of a
Yeah.
balloon. And and I think that's why Microsoft did what they did on the other side of it, right? Like, first of all, they just
Yeah.
didn't have shit for games and they're trying to become a software company again. So they're like, well, let's just get all these gaming software companies. But then on the other side, they have all this cloud service shit that they're competing with Google and Amazon and themselves. And that basically, between those three, that basically is the internet right now. And
Right.
the other two started to get into gaming, and Microsoft's like, well, we're already in gaming. We're well entrenched in gaming. Fuck those guys.
Right.
We're gonna go get fucking one of the biggest options out there right
Yeah.
now.
I wonder too if it was some sort of a deal where that is a big enough draw and they were in negotiations like we want to make it so we can stream all of your stuff, and they're like, we don't want to sign a contract where we're like allowing you to stream all of our stuff forever. And then Microsoft just goes, how much to just buy you? And then they go, well, like, I don't know.
I'm gonna put a number on a napkin.
They just like lean over. They're just like, I just tell them something crazy, like, I don't know, it's 200 billion. And then Bill Gates just like, yeah,
okay,
yep.
It's a deal.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You said 200 billion, right?
Yeah.
I heard you right with a B.
Yeah.
Yeah. We said yeah. And there,
you
could just see
okay?
the Activision at the table, all puffy, like, oh yeah, we said billion, and Microsoft. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure how many zeros to put on the check. Okay, it's a deal. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Shit, should ask for more.
Right. Yeah. Do you guys take checks? Or how would you like this?
Right.
You know?
I guess we have cash. Like there's a truck out back. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
We just
I didn't even have to change into my business sweater vest. Got this one done in the casual wear. We had no negotiations. You said 200 billion. I said yes.
And I said yes. So there's actually a lot of talk about how this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring that up. I'm gonna like bring some numbers to the table of how big a deal is. But that some people are thinking that they're possibly lurking in antitrust territory, basically monopoly territory, because there's only like, now that Activision Blizzard's off the table, there's pretty much Ubisoft and EA left.
Yeah.
Yes, Capcom's out there. Konami got out of the video game business, like the makers of Metal Gear Solid.
Yep.
And what's Capcom making? Resident Evil and Street Fighter? They have 2 fucking games.
Right. They're big games, but yeah.
Really good games. And they're doing really well too, both of them.
Right. Right.
But it's just like, what the fuck, dude? Ubisoft is huge. EA is gigantic.
Yeah.
But also, okay, so those are the only 2 big companies left. Everybody else is indie. I don't know. It feels weird. But so there's been people talking about like, there could be some antitrust in this. Like there could be monopoly intervention here. I don't think there will be, but they could. And here's why, Tim. I looked this up on VentureBeat. Call of Duty alone has been 10 out of the 20 best-selling games since 2010 to 2019. Half.
Yeah.
Half of the best-selling games in the last 10 years, roughly, have been just Call of Duty games.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and that you were part of that crowd. You know how big it was, how popular it was, how popular it is.
Every couple of years it'd come out, and like the developers would take turns.
Yeah, because they have 2 studios always working on it, and they
so it's like I think it was like every
annually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you keep having one come out year after year.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. I suppose Fortnite wouldn't even be on there, right? Because you don't buy it. It's free.
Right. Yeah.
Because Fortnite, when you think about it, like Fortnite, PUBG, you have to buy PUBG. That was more PC.
Yeah. Yep.
But then it came out on other platforms. But I think that one was a little bit late to the party because they were only PC. Right. And then they started like expanding platforms. But
yeah,
Fortnite was already out.
Yep. And I think it might have been 2019 when PUBG really started to hit its stride, if I'm thinking back. it was like 2018, 2019 when PUBG really started to hit its, like, when it really hit big. But yeah, I think you're right. So you're also right. Epic, I guess, is the other big player in the video. So there's EA, there's Epic, then there's Ubisoft. But again, Epic, what do they make? They don't. They make the engine that runs video games, and then they make Fortnite, and that's all they
Yeah, I
need
don't
to
know what
do.
else they make. Yeah,
That's all they need to do to make money.
right,
Um, they run a PC store, but again, that what part of their income is that? Nothing. It's Fortnite, fucking Fortnite. That's where they
right.
make money.
Yep, yep,
They own Rocket League now, but again, free to play.
right.
So it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy to just think about like
Yeah.
half of the games from 2010 to 2019 are now Microsoft
I
products.
bet I bet Fortnite is a big reason of why they were willing to do this too, and with like the
Yeah.
live stuff.
Yeah.
Because when you realize that the
Mhm.
pay to play games
Right.
out there are making way more money than selling a video game ever
Right.
would,
Mhm.
because you have these people constantly buying stuff instead
Yep.
of,
Yep.
some of the video games you could buy stuff to add on here and there and make it a little bit better. But you
Yeah.
got so much from just purchasing the game. And Fortnite would be like,
Yep.
you get the plain Jane out of the box, nothing special, but you can get
Yep.
so much cool stuff if you spend money.
Right.
And everybody
For sure,
has
for
it,
sure.
They're
Yep.
like, everybody has it,
Mhm.
which was not the case with the other games.
Right. Right.
So,
Like everybody has Fortnite on their system, whether they're playing it or not. They did download it.
yeah, it's there. It
They turn it on
exists.
every once in a while because, Spider-Man's available. It's like, fuck yeah, I'm going to get that Spider-Man costume.
Right, right. Or you're just bored one day and you're like, it's one of those games too where you're like, drop in,
Yep.
say, shoot some people, see how far I make it, and then sucks them back in.
Yep. It
And
just
like,
keeps you going. Yep.
yep,
And it's just like, yeah, obviously Microsoft saw something there. They got to be doing something with Call of Duty like that they're going to flip that, I think, into something
yeah.
different to try
The
to see.
other thing I was gonna say about how I really hope and think that they probably won't try to make it all exclusively Xbox is I
Mhm.
think that might be the death of consoles. If you try to force
Yeah.
everybody to buy an Xbox
Yep.
and you still have the capabilities of like if you pull it off of PC so I can't get it on a PC anymore,
Mhm.
then you have a true monopoly and you kind of like have us by the balls and there's nothing we can do about it. But if you
Right.
have it allowed to be on PC and you're like, well, it's all on Xbox now or PC, then I'm be like, well, I'm gonna get a PC
Right.
because quite frankly, like
Yep.
the PCs I can just upgrade down the road,
Yep. Exactly.
and the
And
PCs look so much fucking cooler than your Xbox does, bro.
yeah,
Like
they really do.
if I put some money into it, they're so
Yep.
cool looking, and
Oh, so cool.
you can have your own, so you don't look just like the neighbors. Like, what can you get with the Xbox?
Right.
The skin,
This
like you can get some like
You could get some
sticker
decals.
that you put on it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're dead on. And that's 100%. And well, I mean, what does Microsoft care? Because then you're buying Windows too. Like, because that's what you're gonna run on your
true,
game
true.
PC.
Yeah,
So it's just like it's all win for them, I think. But you're right. I wonder if that does start to then push into the monopoly territory. And like, yeah, yeah, it's really freaky and really weird. And Sony has already done it. I haven't seen it, but PlayStation Now runs on some of their TVs. Now Sony's not killing the TV game
mm,
right now, but they had TVs with big enough processors, good enough Wi-Fi or Ethernet cables, and Bluetooth that you
yeah,
could sync up a PS4 controller or a PS3 controller, and you could play PlayStation games
yeah.
on your TV through PlayStation Now. You just would
That's
stream right to your TV, and
that
that
goes
is going to happen.
that goes back to the non-current thing, though. That's why the processor in your TV can handle it because it's not the
Mm.
new games that need all the processing power. They're like
Well,
a couple systems ago.
no, I know what you're saying, but no, that's the thing about cloud gaming. That's the thing about streaming is all the processing is done in the cloud. So, like,
Mm.
a PS4 game will
I don't
run
know.
on your phone at
Yeah.
PS4 graphics because your phone is literally just sending commands, like controller commands, over the
Yeah.
internet, and
Okay.
then the server is sending the picture back and
Yeah.
the response.
That
So it's
makes
just like
sense.
it's just feeding the data, it's doing all the processing, but it's just listening to your controller and sending a video
Mm.
back. Like, that's
Yes,
pretty much what it's doing.
that makes sense. I don't know enough about computers and stuff to think about that part of it. I'm just like, processing, and then I'm like, old games don't need the newest processor, and then yeah, you're just like, well, they don't really need much at all. And I'm like, oh yeah, kind of,
As long as it can process an internet signal super fast,
yeah,
you're pretty damn good to go. And that's why TVs can do it. That's why Sony's TVs can do it. And that's why it is one of those situations where consoles may be dying anyway, because you may just end up getting Game Pass on your next Roku.
right,
Your Roku has Bluetooth in it. Connect a controller, Game Pass.
yeah,
Fuck it. Stream the new Call of Duty through your Roku.
right. I mean, yeah, they could be dying for sure, but and I know COVID has some of the stuff to do with it, but
Mhm.
it isn't it still like super hard to get a PS5?
Oh, yeah. I've been trying
Yeah,
pretty aggressively lately because the new Horizon comes out. Can't find it. Can't find
yeah.
it. Still
And
can't
when did it
get
release?
on
Like two
over a
years
year
ago?
ago. A year and a
Yeah,
half-ish, I think we're working on now.
it's nuts. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's definitely not dying yet.
Oh, no, and I it's still true, like, it's a while away because it's a lot of processing power. There's there's still lag even in Bluetooth controllers, so you gotta add Bluetooth lag on top of the fact that there's lag just being over the internet because the closest
Mm.
server is in Chicago, right?
Oh, damn.
And
Okay.
so you're literally playing a game that's being run in Chicago. And so
Yeah.
that's why I do think, like, Call of Duty is still, a few years out. We just don't have fiber to our houses,
Right.
you know? Like,
I'm
we're
back
not
on Team Council.
Yeah,
I've always liked the physical discs anyways. It just feels weird doing the digital stuff to
sure,
me. I just
sure.
like that. We've talked about that before too.
Yep. Yeah.
I,
And
I just
this is getting into the territory of, like, when we talked about physical media. We're
yep.
getting back there, but it is one of these things now where it all it's all coming to a bigger, crazier head now because Microsoft just bought one of the biggest gaming developers in the planet.
Right.
It's
Which
like,
is
whoa, fuck, dude.
yeah.
It's so crazy to think about. Anyways,
I just hope that they let them do their thing still
I know
and
that
not
they don't
start
come in and, like, turn Call of Duty into a Fortnite where it's free to play and it's all cosmetic purchases and, like, just, well, make this game just always
yeah.
perpetual. Don't keep making a game every 2
Well,
years.
they
Just make
kind
it
of
go forever.
yeah, they kind of did that already though, didn't they?
They
With
did a
the
little bit. Mhm.
Warzone or whatever. I
Mhm.
never played it, but I think that's the same. It was like free for everybody.
Mhm.
But like that I mean is fine. But like if they come in there and start like, you know, trying to like we were talking about with the Halo or whatever.
Ah, I
Halo's
got
done really well on our system, so I'm thinking
right.
we should have like what if we come up with a Call of Duty where everybody flies and there's spaceships? You're just like,
Right.
wow.
What if you guys just make Call of Duty that's like a total rip off of Halo? Somebody go do
Right.
that. You're doing that now.
Yeah, they're just like corporate, like makes no sense. Just like come in saying, I don't think they would do that. That'd be pretty stupid of them to
Yeah.
come in and just be like,
To destroy a winning formula.
we bought you because you were super successful, and we
Right.
came in here to change the whole thing.
Right.
So,
Yep. No, I fully agree. I don't think that I don't think they plan on doing that, but, who knows now? Like, who the fuck ever thought they would just buy out that company anyway?
Hey, Bill Gates, if you see this though, I would fully support you putting yourself in as a playable character. That'd be funny to run around on the battlefield with a sweater vest, glasses.
And glasses. It would be pretty sweet. Oh shit! All right, man.
Meleeing people with a syringe.
It just is like vaccinated.
Right.
You can no longer catch smallpox. Plus 300 XP.
Right.
Wait, did I just give that guy XP? What the fuck?
Yeah,
I thought he was my enemy.
Yeah. I wasn't trying to make him better. Oh no, man.
Shit.
It's like all these weird hidden glitches with the Bill Gates character. Stuff that they just constantly deny to. It's like all weird inside jokes.
Right. Oh shit, man. That's funny. All right, let's wrap this thing up. RealAF.tv, real like fish and reels, where you can find all of us, because we got Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. You'll be able to find it at realaf.tv. And just look us up on, YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. Real like fish and real AF TV. You just use the search. It finds us. Give us the follows and the likes and all of that stuff. Let us know, realaf.tv/contact, if these rants on this random stuff where we just want to be two dudes talking about stuff that we've been thinking about, if that's working for you still. I do like the format of Fish and Random Takes, but they're getting long. We usually string them out. Started as an hour-long podcast. Now it's like each half is an hour long.
It's a true statement.
We like to talk. What can we say?
Hey.
So we want to hear your feedback about it. What else, Tim?
I don't know, man. I got nothing.
Me neither.
Zoning out. If anybody saw at the beginning of this, I was sipping on this coffee cup. That was juice and tequila. So I'm just
not